Oh
and
my
we can
God,
talk
get the
about
hell out of here.
We can
dude.
talk about Rodgers.
Get the hell out of here.
Okay, what is the need to bring up the Yankees?
It's just stuff to bring up because
Are you kidding me? Come on, dude. This came out of nowhere.
not. Clemson is a top team. Don't start with that. Clemson's a top team, no doubt, 100%.
Unless they're on Saturday, then they might move down.
And we're back with Go Chat. I am your host, Matt Kane, alongside my other co-hosts, Connor Wood, Tommy Mumma, and Mike Buetti, as always. Sorry about that little break, but we're on episode number 51. We just want to take a little break since we grinded out 50 from the beginning. We just want to thank you guys also for the viewership in the past couple episodes. But we're back, number 51. Connor, who's your go to number 51?
So episode 50, I went Mike Singletary, a legendary Chicago linebacker. Number 51, I'm going Dick Butkus, a legendary Chicago linebacker. He's in the Hall of Fame. He was an 8-time Pro Bowler in his 9 seasons, 5-time All-Pro, 22 interceptions as a linebacker, which is really impressive. 2 Hall of Fame all-time teams. He's on the all-time team in 1960 and 1970. He had a great career over a short 9 years. Dick Butkus is my go to the number 51.
As always, that's a great pick. Mike, what about you?
I'm actually not going to pick a football player. I'm going to baseball, and I'm going Randy Johnson. This guy is one of the best pitchers in all of baseball history. He's second in all-time strikeouts with almost 5,000 strikeouts. Only Nolan Ryan has more. He's a 5-time Cy Young, 10-time All-Star, World Series MVP, and obviously, if he got the World Series MVP, obviously won it. And he's also 4-time ERA title champ. I mean, this guy was unstoppable on the mound. He's nothing that we have in this generation right now. I mean, Randy Johnson was just something else. Just an absolute role model for young pitchers growing up, and that's why I'm going with him.
Tommy, what about you?
That's a great pick, and I was thinking about going with him, but since you did, I want to go with somebody else. I'm going to go with Trevor Hoffman. He's the second best closer in baseball history. He had over 600. He had 601 saves. He had a great career, and if it wasn't for Mariano Rivera, he obviously would be the best closer of all time. But he was incredible with the Padres, and he didn't get to pitch in as many big games as Mariano, so that kind of takes away from his legacy a little bit. But he had a 2.97 career ERA. He was a 7-time All-Star, and he's a Hall of Famer. He was just outstanding throughout his entire career, so I have to go with Trevor Hoffman today.
Well, I mean, I'm going to football. I'm not going to agree with Connor with Dick Butkus, so we're all going to have different people, which is kind of cool. But I'm going to go with Jim Ringo. He's one of the best centers to ever play in the NFL. He was on the Packers, of course, that's why I'm going with him. He was protecting Bart Starr, and he was opening polls for Jim Taylor and Paul Hornung. Unfortunately, Paul Hornung passed away yesterday, so rest in peace to him. But he was incredible. Jim Ringo was an incredible center. He won 2 NFL championships in his final 3 seasons with the Packers. And like I talked about that running back duo combined for over 1,800 rushing yards and 23 touchdowns. And I think the offensive line is so valuable to a football team. It's kind of like a make or break for a running back. And especially with that duo, much credit goes to Jim Ringo for that. So he is my go number 51.
Great picks by all of us here. I honestly think it's better when we all have a different person so that we can show all of the true potential and legends and stars throughout these different numbers. I mean, Randy Johnson, one of the best pitchers of all time. I think one of my favorite clips of Randy Johnson when he was pitching and a bird flew by and he hit the bird. Obviously, too bad for the bird, but it was a great clip. I mean, Trevor Hoffman was an all-time closer. I don't personally know the center from that Matt had said because he played in the 1950s.
Yeah, around then.
But I mean, Dick Butkus also, none of us got the privilege of watching, but we all have seen him analyze football before and all that stuff. So it's just awesome that we all have spread out the wealth here today.
Yeah, it's not like 50 with Adam Wainwright, though. Tommy,
that was a great one. I don't know why people don't like that pick. He's a great pitcher.
Just compared to the other two, it's just...
I know, but I'm going to go with a baseball person every time. So,
well, We're going to be switching out of the GOAT of the number here. We're going to be talking about our midseason NFL awards. We're evaluating right now on week 11 who we think should be winning all of the awards if the season ended today. So we will be right back with that segment next.
Welcome back to Go Chat. We are going to hop right into our mid-season NFL awards, and we're not really predicting who's going to be, the awards at the end of the year. We are saying right now who is the leader in all of the awards we have right now. So first up, we got Coach of the Year. And Matt, I'll start off with you. Who is your Coach of the Year?
I thought about going with Brian Flores, but I've got to hand it to Mike Tomlin. It's an undefeated Steelers team. They haven't been they haven't won that many games in a row, or they haven't started that season out as good in their franchise history. So I don't know what I'm trying to say. Kudos to Mike Tomlin. I got to go with him.
Yeah, they never have started 8-0 in franchise's history. There you go. So Tommy, who do you got?
I'm going to agree with Mike Tomlin on this one. I just think that, they're undefeated. Last year, they only had 9 wins in the entire season. They went 9-6-1. They missed the postseason. So you got to hand it to Mike Tomlin. And part of that is that he has some players back. Big Ben's back. But he's done a great job coaching them. So I got to go with Mike Tomlin.
Connor, what do you think?
I'm going to go kind of off the board here, but I'm going to go Arizona Cardinals head coach Cliff Kingsbury. He's really turned things around in Arizona. I mean, they drafted Isaiah Simmons, I think, with the 11th or 12th pick in the NFL draft last year, and now they're off to a 5-3 start, I think, in the NFC West, which is one of the hardest divisions in football, and they're competing. They're competing well. Kyler's playing really well. He has a very good game plan. So I think Cliff Kingsbury could be on the board there for Coach of the Year.
Yeah, I think he's definitely in the running, but I'm gonna have to agree with Tommy and Matt here. It has to be Mike Tomlin. I mean, the Steelers are undefeated. They are playing like one of the best teams in the NFL, if not the best. They have probably the best defense in the NFL next to the Colts, and their offense is really good too. And I agree with Matt. I think Brian Flores is a close second, just given the expectations coming into the year and the bold move of putting in Tua Tagovailoa in place of Ryan Fitzpatrick that was actually playing pretty well, and it's panned out for him really well. They just beat the Rams and the Cardinals, so I think Brian Flores is a strong competitor as well, but I have to go Mike Tomlin here.
Can I also just mention one other name? I think Tennessee's head coach Mike Vrabel has a very good opportunity at Coach of the Year too. I've seen some things circulating through Twitter where he takes delay of game penalties or 12 players on the field penalties to stop time. I think he did it in a game this year, which actually adds time to how much time his offense is going to have left. He did it in the Houston game, and they wound up going down and scoring and winning the game because he allowed his defense to take a 12 men on the field penalty. So just moves like that are something that goes into a Coach of the Year evaluation.
Yeah, that kind of seems like a baseball manager move right there, like the bait and switch that Aaron Boone tried to pull in against the Rays in game 3, I think. This World Series where he put in Davey Garcia, then brought in J.A. Happ, right? And that did not play out well for him. But anyways, yeah, these are all great candidates. So let's jump in right to the next award, Comeback Player of the Year. I'll go in the opposite direction this time. Connor, who do you got?
I want to go Alex Smith so bad just because of the journey that he's been on and everything that inhabits it and him just being able to get back out onto the football field. But I have to go Ben Roethlisberger. I mean, he's led the Steelers to an 8-0 start, 1,900 yards, 18 touchdowns. He has a QBR rating of 101.8. I mean, after not playing a lot, or I think he played the first game last year and then he didn't play the rest of the year, and the team only had 9 wins under Mason Rudolph and Duck Hodges for a game or two, I think. Ben Roethlisberger being back there is definitely making a difference on the team, and we can see that with an undefeated start to the season.
Tommy, what do you think?
I'm going to agree 100%. I actually have 2 people listed, Alex Smith and Ben Roethlisberger, and I'm going to agree with you, Connor. I think it has to be Ben just because of how well the Steelers have played, and he's a huge reason why, obviously. And he has 18 touchdowns this year, 68% completion percentage. He's been great, over 1,000 yards he's thrown for. So he's had a great year, and his team's one of the best in football right now. I have the best record, so I got to go with Ben Roethlisberger. But Alex Smith is a great story, though, so I'd like to go with him as well, but I'm going to go with Ben.
Matt, are you going to agree with Tommy and Connor? Or are you going to go off the board?
I'm gonna go with Alex Smith. Now, before the Steelers, we got a couple Steelers fans that watch the show. Maybe Connor Glunt, Dane Richardson. I got a buddy who's a huge Steelers fan. It is compelling to go with Ben Roethlisberger, but think about a year ago, who thought Alex Smith was gonna play a football game to start with, and he went through so many surgeries. He almost had his leg amputated, and then this Sunday, Kyle Allen gets hurt by the Giants. And he goes out and throws 325 yards. Yes, he threw 3 interceptions, but that was one really tight game. And I think he's gonna be playing. I think if we're predicting this, I think it could go in his favor because he's playing more games. But I'm just gonna go with him just because of his story. And Ben Roethlisberger's been playing great too. So if it goes either way, and at the end of the season, it's fine to me.
Mm-hmm. Matt, I have to agree with you here. As good as Big Ben has played, he's been really, really solid for the Steelers, leading them to an unbeaten record. But I just think the fact that Alex Smith almost had his leg amputated, he didn't think he was going to walk again. And all of a sudden now he's jogging, then running, then in football activities, and actually in an actual game and playing not, half bad, right? I feel like it just has to be Alex Smith here, given the circumstances he was under and the path he's taken to return the field. Obviously, no disrespect to, Big Ben. I think these are definitely the top 2 candidates. And, I guess you could throw Cam at 3, but I feel like it's 100% Alex Smith, just given the path he's needed to take to get to this point in time. But anyways, there's not much to say here. Both very good candidates. So let's get some debate going here. Let's hop right into Defensive Rookie of the Year. Tommy, I'll start with you first.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Chase Young. I just think he's had a really good year. 3.5 sacks, 20 total tackles. He's played really well there. And I don't have too much to say on this one. I just think that he's done enough to win Defensive Rookie of the Year.
All right. I got you, Tommy. Matt, what do you got?
I'm gonna have to agree with him. I thought this was close when I was thinking about Patrick Queen, but ever since Chase Young has gotten off that groin injury, he's been a wreck on that Washington defensive line, and I just think he's been playing absolutely amazing since then. And I think I could be wrong. I think he's leading in sacks and hurries for rookies. Not sure about that. I think so, but not sure. So I'm gonna go with Chase Young.
Connor, what are you thinking?
Well, I'm going to disagree with them. I think Matt mentions Chase Young and Patrick Queen, but we're forgetting about Tampa Bay Buccaneer safety Antoine Winfield. I mean, he has 51 total tackles, a tackle for loss as a safety, which is impressive, 2 sacks, an interception, and a forced fumble. Now, Tampa Bay's defense looked really bad last week against New Orleans, but a lot of that has to do with the turnovers that the offense faced. And Antoine Winfield has really been a force on that defense. He's not looking like a rookie. He's looking like a second-year or a third-year vet on that team who's playing incredibly well. I think the sky is the limit. I mean, we mentioned Chase Young has 3.5 sacks. On the defensive line, Antoine Winfield at a safety has 2. And I just think Antoine Winfield is playing better football. I'd actually make a better case for Patrick Queen than Chase Young at this point, but Antoine Winfield is going to be my Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Make the
Connor,
case.
I actually totally agree with you that Antoine Winfield should be the Defensive Rookie of the Year. He has completely changed life in that Tampa Bay secondary. Coming into this year, we said, the Tampa Bay, front is really good, but what about their back end? Winfield has completely shored that up. Connor, you listen to all the stats. You listed all the stats: 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble, a pick, 50 tackles over 10 games as a safety. That's really good. And Antoine Winfield has just completely changed in that Tampa Bay secondary, making them one of the best defenses in the league. And there's really no dispute over that. I understand the last game, their last showing against the New Orleans Saints was poor. But the fact of the matter is Antoine Winfield is one of the biggest reasons why Tampa is playing so well defensively. Now, were you going to say something right when Connor ended? I kind of cut you off there to make my point.
No, I mean, Connor said you can make a case for Patrick Queen against Chase Young. I'm just, I'm curious to hear it.
I mean, Patrick Queen has 52 tackles on the season, 38 of those are solo. He has 4 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, which again is just a sack and a half behind Chase Young, who plays on the defensive line. Patrick Queen is a hybrid linebacker type player. He's all over the field. He has forced 2 fumbles. He's been in on pass deflections, deflecting a pass. He's all over the field. He's just there. He's wherever the ball is, and he's playing incredibly well.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's all I wanted to hear. That's all I wanted to hear.
Simple response there from Matt. All right, let's get into offensive rookie of the year. Matt, I'm going with you first. Who's your offensive rookie of the year?
I would love to go with Joe Burrow, but I have to go with Justin Herbert. There's no stat that says Burrow is better than Herbert, to be honest. Maybe there is, but if we look at passing yards, Burrow's better than Herbert, which is expected because he played more games than Herbert. But if Herbert, I think he played 2 less games, maybe 1 less than Burrow. So if Herbert gets another game in, he's easily going to pass him. And, it's tough because I love Joe Burrow. Like, I'm just a huge fan of his. But I think Herbert has just been playing better. I think Burrow at the end of the year can win it, but right now it's got to go to Herbert.
Connor, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm agreeing. It's Justin Herbert. Just put some numbers to the stats. He has a 104.7 QBR rating, 17 touchdowns and 2,100 yards. And although the record doesn't necessarily show how good that Chargers team is, they're a very darn good team with him as quarterback. I mean, Keenan Allen has been getting involved. He's been battling some sicknesses the past couple of weeks. Their running backs have been down. They have been without Austin Eckler most of the season, if not all of the season. So, I mean, once they get these pieces back and Justin Herbert's more experienced, that record's going to change. I think it's also going to take an Anthony Lynn firing and a new coach in there. But I think we're just seeing the beginning of Justin Herbert's reign in the NFL, and he's easily the offensive rookie of the year.
Tommy, you going with Herbert too?
I am, and you gave most of the stats, Matt and Connor, but he's just had a really great year. He's completed about 67% of his passes. You mentioned, Connor, 2,100 yards to 17 touchdowns. He's been great the whole year, and right now that's who I have to give offensive rookie of the year to.
Yeah, we're all unanimous on this one. It has to be Justin Herbert here.
I was scared he was going to go Tua.
No. Tua hasn't played enough, as of yet. And it's going to be Herbert here on and here out if everything stays its course. But Herbert has just been amazing. I don't think any of us expected him to play close to the level that he's playing to right now. No matter how well Joe Burrow is playing, Herbert just keeps one-upping him every week. And, it's something special to see for LA Chargers fans. Herbert is there to stay, and he's going to become one of the top quarterbacks in this league, as we've seen so far.
I thought Mike was going to go Joe Burrow, to be honest. I didn't think Tua. I didn't think he'd go Tua. I think, that would just be stupid.
No. There's really no argument to be made for Burrow here. Herbert's just played outstanding.
Yeah, so we got 3 more awards left to give out. Defensive Player of the Year. This one's compelling. There's TJ Watts in the world. There's Aaron Donalds. There's Myles Garrett's. Insert defensive player name here if you guys think otherwise. Connor, who are you going to go with?
I'm going to go with Myles Garrett. He's a name that really has kind of flown under the radar this year because, unfortunately, he's on the Cleveland Browns. And the Cleveland Browns are a very good team this year, but I still haven't heard enough about Myles Garrett. I mean, he has 9 sacks. That leads the NFL. 5 tackles for loss. He has 4 forced fumbles and 25 total tackles as a defensive end. He's just in the backfield. He's at the ball wherever it is, whether it's in the quarterback's hands or with the running back. He's going to tackle whoever it is. He's going to force a fumble. He's going to cause a turnover. He's going to sack the quarterback. He's there. He's easily defensive player of the year.
Mike, who are you going to go with?
I'm going to agree with Connor here. I feel like it has to be Myles Garrett. Like Connor said, he leads the league in sacks. I'm pretty sure that there's a tie there. There's also a tie for first with forced fumbles. Myles Garrett has 4. He's tied with a couple other players, but he's just an all-around force for the Cleveland Browns, and he's probably one of the biggest reasons that defense is much improved this year from last year. Myles Garrett is just wreaks havoc on the quarterback, and when the Browns play the Cowboys this year, I witnessed that firsthand as he tore apart the the shambles that the Dallas Cowboys offensive line is. But Myles Garrett is 100% the defensive player of the year for me.
Can't
Tommy.
have an episode without the Dallas Cowboys. Gosh, we're handing out awards and the Cowboys still find a way on here.
All right, Tommy, who are you gonna go with?
Yeah, well, I think that's a great pick, but I'm going to go with a Steeler again, TJ Watt. I just think he's had a great year for them. 7 sacks, 25 total tackles. He also had an interception, so he's just had a really great year. And I feel like I'm saying this about all the Steelers, but he's also a big reason why they are where they are today, 8-0. And yeah, I got to go with him for Defensive Player of the Year.
I mean, Tommy, you've given out 3 awards to Steelers. Are these all going to be Steelers awards? Why don't you just give an award out to the whole team?
I know. Well, they deserve it. They've been great, but they're going to get the trophy in February. So
We'll see what happens then. But for my defensive player of the year, I'm going to go with Aaron Donald. I think Myles Garrett and TJ Watt are both amazing picks. Just to give some stats about Aaron Donald, he is leading the sacks with Myles Garrett, not Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett's clapping. Jason Garrett's clapping on the sidelines, but yeah. So he's got 26 combined tackles, 15 of them are solo, 11 assists, and he's forced 3 fumbles. I think you said Garrett forced 4, so that's going to be a tight race moving forward, in my opinion. Anyone else have any comments on defensive player of the year?
Where's Jamal Adams been?
He's getting toasted. That's where he's been.
Sorry, I just want to throw some quick slander at Jamal Adams. A lot of people thought the trade to Seattle would be really good for him. They think he'd fit in really well, but I think he ranks as like the 79th out of 97 safety in the NFL right now as far as passing coverage. So Jets won that trade. That's all I'm going to say. Joe Douglas is the man.
Yeah, I mean, can we talk about how like Jamal Adams goes to Seahawks? They're like, oh my God, it's going to be like a great defense, and they're like one of the worst passing defenses. I just think that kind of looking back.
I said it. I feel like if you go back and you watch one of our episodes, I said Jamal Adams is really bad in coverage and he's not going to be able to do anything. I think the best move for Jamal Adams, a way for him to find a Defensive Player of the Year award, is for him to move to a hybrid linebacker, kind of like what we saw out of oh my gosh, it was a Cardinals linebacker a couple of years ago. He was a safety moved linebacker and he's playing really well.
They moved Simmons this year from linebacker to
Sound right?
I think it was Michael Barron. I can't remember the name, but either way, he made a move from safety to linebacker and he played really well. He was really hard hitting. I think that's the way that Jamal Adams can also find his way here for Defensive Player of the Year in the future.
Jamal Adams, if you're listening, go.
Of course, we can't go an episode without the New York Jets on it. But anyways, continue.
Oh man, we got the Offensive Player of the Year coming up next. A bunch of different choices you can pick. Tommy, who did you pick?
I'm going to go with somebody that's on one of my fantasy teams, Alvin Kamara. He's had a great year, 5 touchdowns, 471 rushing yards. He's been great. I mean, you can't say enough about what he's been able to do there for the Saints. He's always great, and I got to go with him easily for Offensive Player of the Year.
Mike?
I'm going with Dalvin Cook here, 100%. He's missed a game, and he still leads the league in rushing. I mean, this guy just tears apart defenses single-handedly. If we're talking about running backs and relying on their offensive line, let me tell you, Dalvin Cook does not do that. He's breaking tackles left and right, and he's just running all the way down the field into the end zone. Right now, he is up 858 yards and 12 rushing touchdowns so far in the season. That is absolutely ridiculous. And he also has 173 yards receiving and a touchdown receiving. I mean, this guy is the complete package. He's playing like the best back in the NFL right now. It's 100% Dalvin Cook.
Connor?
Yeah, it's Dalvin Cook. Mike said everything that he had to say that I was going to say. It's Dalvin Cook.
Oh, it's 1,000% Dalvin Cook. He is he's second in rushing. I don't know. I saw Derrick Henry was first.
Yeah, he just played last night.
Right, he overtook him last night.
Yeah, so Dalvin Cook, I wrote down he has 858 yards, second, and he only played 7 games, which is unbelievable. 12 touchdowns, like Mike said. He's averaging 122.6 yards per game. That is first. And we look at his big games. Green Bay, 163 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 passing touchdown. Detroit, last week, 206 yards, 2 touchdowns. Houston, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns. Tennessee, 181, 1 touchdown. Do I have to say anything else? The dude is unbelievable.
I think this season for Dalvin Cook really compares to Adrian Peterson's MVP season. They're averaging like the same amount of yards, same amount of touchdowns, and Dalvin Cook is just getting more receiving work. I think if the Vikings were a better team than they are right now, if they were, in playoff contention, no doubt we're talking about Dalvin Cook in the MVP race right now.
I honestly think he could end up in the MVP race coming soon.
The Vikings are improving.
Yeah, but they're not going to be a playoff team. But moving to the final award, the most valuable player, the biggest award in the NFL awards. Tommy, who is your midseason MVP?
I have to go with Russell Wilson. He's another one that's had a great first half. 28 touchdowns, 71% of his passes have been completed. 2,500 yards he's thrown for. He's been outstanding, and he's always outstanding. I feel like we say that year after year. Russell, Hall of Famer, obviously, for sure. He's just incredible, and he's adding on to his legacy in the first half of this year. So I have to go with him for my midseason MVP.
Connor, who is your midseason MVP?
Yeah, I'm going to agree. Or no, disagree rather.
Oh,
I'm going Patrick Mahomes. I don't have any of the other stats. All I'm saying is that Patrick Mahomes only has 1 turnover this year, where Russell Wilson has thrown 8 interceptions within his last 3 games, I think. So I'm going to go Patrick Mahomes.
Mike?
I'm going to agree with Connor here and go Patrick Mahomes. I think right now it's neck and neck between him and Aaron Rodgers. I just think Patrick Mahomes has played more efficient, and I just think that debacle in Tampa Bay for Aaron Rodgers downgrades him. Like, they have nearly identical stats, besides turnovers. So I got to go with Patrick Mahomes here.
Just for clarification, they don't really have close stats. I know I'll explain that coming up. But I'm gonna go. Honestly, this MVP race right now is a 3-way tie in my opinion. But you guys went with Mahomes, Tommy went with Russell Wilson. So I'm gonna go with Aaron Rodgers, and I'm just gonna name off a couple stats that I feel are important to this. He's got the best passer rating in the league at 1.7 or passer rating out of the 3. Oh yeah, the league 117.5 passer rating. He's got 24 touchdowns. He's third. He's 1 behind Patrick Mahomes, and Mahomes has played 1 more game. So given Rodgers throws 1 more touchdown against Jacksonville, he will be ahead of him. He has 2 interceptions, both against the Bucs, which was disappointment. He had a 35.4 passer rating that game, and somehow still is leading the league in passer rating. I don't know how. That is unbelievable because of how much weight that 35.4 is going to have. It's unbelievable. And Mahomes does have 31 more receptions. I'm going to tell you, or completions. I'm going to tell you that. So there is a very big difference in passing yards, but given Rodgers still has to play 1 more game and Mahomes has 31 more completions, Rodgers would be closer. He wouldn't be leading Mahomes in passing yards, but he would be much closer. So I think I'm going to give it to Aaron Rodgers. He also has like much less receivers than the Super Bowl offense that added Le'Veon Bell.
I definitely think we named the top 3 contenders right now. Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes. Mike has his hands up, so he's going to cut me.
Wait, hold on. I want to refute some points here that Matt made. You're acting like Aaron Rodgers is head and shoulders above the rest of the league in pass rate. Patrick Mahomes is 115.5 pass rate. He's only like 1.5 behind Aaron Rodgers. So let's not act like it's like a whole galaxy's difference in passer rating between Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes. Okay.
All I said was Aaron Rodgers is first in passer rating. Like, why are you coming at me for saying he's a leaps and above? I never said the words leaps or above high in passer rating. I said it was first.
Okay. Well, my point is you come into the argument and you're like, oh, there's actually a big difference in the statistics, right? And you come out first with passer rating.
But he did say that there's a 3-way tie.
I said I believe there's a 3-way tie right now. That's me, honestly. So I'm gonna go with Rodgers here for the sake of the argument, to refute you guys. And I said the only reason why I said there's a big difference in their stats is just because of the yards. Because Patrick Mahomes has 300 more yards.
He has like 400 more yards.
But he's also played 1 more game.
He's played less of a game. So okay, I was that's what I thought you were referring to, not the yards. Okay, that was my only problem with that.
Yeah. I
Oh,
mean,
man.
he also has four touchdown games this season, and Mahomes only has 3.
But okay. But to clarify, of Mahomes' 4 touchdown games, how many were 5 touchdown games?
1. Jets. Which,
Oh, yeah.
come on, they're the Jets.
Rodgers have.
Come on. If Aaron Rodgers was playing the Jets, I would expect 5. Or I would expect them to take him out since that's all they do. They put in Tim Boyle in the fourth quarter when they're killing. The 49ers game, they did that. The Falcons game, they did that. And the Lions game, they did that. So I think it is hard to compare these guys. Oh, I'll also like to point out QBR. Rodgers has that over Mahomes by 3. I'd like to point that out. But I think it's very hard to it's very hard to compare these guys. That's why I'm giving it a 3-way tie with Wilson too. I think Wilson's carrying that offense. That's why. Well, carrying that team, not the offense. He also does it, Tyler. But
I think this is a good time to wrap up this segment. We are kind of all agreeing in a sort of a fact that we have 3 guys at the top who are very close to the MVP. Obviously, it's going to come down to the next couple weeks to determine that, but as of right now, it's incredibly close. So we're going to swing it right on over to our pick'em segment that's coming up now.
welcome back to Goat Chat. We are back with the Goat picks. You check the leaderboard out. Connor's in first. I'm tailing him with 1, tied with Tommy 2, and Mike is somehow in last, even though he claimed I'd be in last. But we're sitting here and he's in last. So we got 4. We got another. You did say I'd be in last. All right, I remember that. But we have 4 great NFL games coming up. First game, Washington football team versus Detroit Lions. Connor, who do you have?
I'm going to go with Detroit. I think Alex Smith being out on the field is definitely it's an awesome story for Washington. I just don't think he has enough to lead them to a win. And I think Matt Stafford is going to be able to play really well against the Washington defense.
Tommy, you want to go first or me?
Why don't you go? I'm still thinking about this
All
one.
right, I'm gonna go with Detroit too. I don't have a lot of faith in Washington. I kind of had too much faith in them towards the beginning of the year against New York. If we picked them last week, I probably would pick Washington. But Tommy, you got to pick now.
I'm gonna go with Washington because Alex Smith is 5-0 in his career against Detroit, and that's why I'm gonna go with them. I know it's probably not the smart pick, but I'm gonna go for an upset here.
And Mike.
I'm going with Detroit here. The only way I can see Washington beat Detroit is if they run the ball down their throats, and I just don't think that they're going to do that.
Next game we have is the Seahawks and the Rams. Big NFC West game. Connor, who do you have?
I honestly think this game is going to be a big offensive shootout. I think the Seattle Seahawks are going to find a way to carve up the Rams defense. But we were just talking about the Seahawks defense last segment about how they are really bad against the pass. I think Jared Goff has a great game. I ultimately see Russell Wilson leading the Seahawks to a high-scoring game win in this game.
This is a tough game. The Rams are they do really bad one week, like against the 49ers, and then they do amazing the next week. So for that sake, I'm going to go with Seahawks. I don't trust picking the Rams. And I already, I went on a, I went ballsy last week. I can't do it again. Tommy, who do you have?
I'm gonna go with the Seahawks. I kind of want to go with the Rams, but I'm gonna stick with Seattle.
And Mike?
I'm going with Seattle as well. I think the Seahawks are going to bounce back.
Next game we got Bills, Cardinals. Bills are coming off a great win against Seattle, and the Cardinals are coming off a loss to Tua and the Dolphins. Connor?
I'm going to go with the Cardinals. I think Kyler Murray plays a good game. I think he plays a really good game. I think we're going to see a bigger role for DeAndre Hopkins this game. He only had 3 catches for 30 yards last week against Miami. I think he's going to have a much better game. I think Kyler's going to find a way to get him the ball. I still think Kenyon Drake is out, but I think Chase Edmonds is going to play a good game. I think Arizona's going to find a way to win.
I'm going to go with the Bills. The Bills played absolutely amazing last week. And Josh Allen is looking like he was in the beginning of the year. Tommy?
Yeah, I'm going to agree. I'm going to go with the Bills. They've won 6 of their last 7 against Arizona, and they're going to keep it going on Sunday. So I'm going with Buffalo.
Mike, do you believe?
I believe in the Cardinals. and I believe that they're going to beat the Bills. I think Chase Edmonds is going to have a good game, and I just think the Cardinals are going to bounce back against a tough loss against Miami. And I just really think that the Seattle secondary made Josh Allen look good.
And the final game that we have is Monday Night Football, the Vikings versus the Bears. This is kind of what I think as the second place for the NFC North, since the Packers are going to sit on top for the rest of the season. Kind of who you have.
The Vikings. I actually think the Vikings are going to find a way to squeak into the playoffs with that 7 seed. They're playing really well. I think they're doing the right things by just feeding Dalvin Cook the ball. I think they're going to beat Chicago here. They've played really well the past couple of weeks. They're going to continue that this week and down the line, and I think they're going to find a way to win.
How the heck are they going to get the 7 seed? The Bucs are going to get the 5 seed. The Cardinals are going to get the 6, and the Rams are going to get the 7.
I don't know. I don't completely trust the Rams.
All right.
And you were yelling at me when I said the Dolphins couldn't make the playoffs. And you're saying right now the Vikings at 3-5, while the Rams are what, like 5-3 right now, 5-4?
Something like that.
That's a 2-game difference.
All right. Anyways, Matt, continue.
I'm gonna go with the Vikings too. I think Dalvin Cook has an amazing game coming off 2 great ones. Tommy?
I'm going to go with the Bears in this one. I picked him a couple weeks ago and it didn't work out for me. But Kirk Cousins, he's never won a Monday Night Football game. He's 0-9 in those games. So that's who I'm going with.
I forgot. Mike, you're probably going with the Bears.
Tommy, I love you. I was going to say that. They fell into the trap. The Bears are going to shut down Dalvin Cook, and Kirk Cousins is going to choke again on Monday night. He's going for the trifecta. He's going for 10 straight Monday night losses. And I think the Bears, they've had 2 losses in a row, but I think their front 7 is going to shut down Dalvin Cook, and Kirk Cousins won't be able to do anything. I'm going with the Bears.
Well, I just want to comment on something. You said it was the trifecta, but this is the
10th. I know that's 3.
Okay.
But what am I supposed to say? Like decafecta? Like it doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound right. Decafecta, no.
I forgot. I'm not gonna lie. He honestly had a really good game last year against the Seahawks on Monday Night Football, but it's still a loss. But I'm hoping Dalvin Cook just has a great game. I totally forgot. I'm gonna be honest. I should know that too.
Tommy bringing out the big guns with the stats.
I know. How about that? NFL.com. They got me covered. So.
All right, guys. That's going to wrap it up here. Episode number 51. It's been a really good one. Definitely drop down in the comments if you think there's going to be any awards that you think are going to be going to different people. We definitely want to hear your input. Again, thank you for all the support throughout the past 4 episodes. The viewership has been amazing. Let's keep that going. Hit that subscribe button. Like, follow, go to our Instagram, follow that. We're going to attach that right now. Definitely just keep up all the support. We appreciate it. We will be back again here on Wednesday.
Peace.